welcome everybody to America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. As always, I'm your host, Chris Jones, and we are venturing out today off of South Ridgewood. Is this Daytona or Port Orange?
South Daytona.
This is South Daytona. We're at Surf's Up Computing, and of course we have one of the elite owners here. We have Chris. Good morning, Chris. Great to have you on.
Thank you, Chris.
First and foremost here, I just got to let everybody know that we didn't prepare for this, and that's the best interviews. So we're going to talk a little bit about the things that are of importance right now for your store and actually during all the current events. Let's talk, Chris.
Sounds great. Well, let me give you a little history first. We actually started the store, well, not the store, but the business itself 4.5 years ago. Started in October of 2015, and it basically started out that we were doing business to business. We're taking care of different businesses with their computer needs, everything from working on their servers, their computers, installing programs, antivirus, data recovery, and it just kept growing from there. Soon we were installing wireless networks for them, hardwired networks. We even did things such as security cameras for the businesses that wanted it.
I want to talk very quickly here because every business has to have a standard, and it seems like each and every year, cell phone business is a perfect example. There's newer things, there's better technology. Is it important for you each and every year to be up on the new things in your industry?
Yes. In fact, we don't only want to be up with it, we want to be the leaders in it.
Okay.
And the product that we're going to show you guys later today is something that we've been working on during the virus pandemic, and what we're doing now is we're getting this ready to go public and help businesses with this new product. So we'll be introducing that in a little while.
I want to ask you something as well. You've mentioned businesses twice. Can individuals, because the first time I came in here, there were quite a few people coming in needing help, or are you also offering your services to people, to homes, to individuals besides the businesses?
Yes, and as the business grew, from that starting point, we started getting different individuals within those businesses ask, they're like, wow, you offer such great services, you're just amazing. Why, if you have time, can you come to my house and do the same thing and fix my computer, speed it up, upgrade it, or can we buy a computer from you? And as that went on, we kept picking up more and more residential customers.
Okay.
And what happened from there is, let's see, just a little over a year ago, March of last year, we opened up this physical store. We had a great grand opening. In fact, we had 2 grand openings.
Right.
We had a blessing of the building and huge crowds that showed up for that event.
When businesses say they're full service, I mean, everybody talks about we're a one-stop shop, and they, all the way from Wendy's to corporate businesses. How would you categorize a one-stop shop computer company like yourself? What do you do, and how can it be enough?
Well, in fact, we're actually more than just computers.
Okay.
In fact, some of the business organizations that I belong to has actually helped my business grow, and not only that, but now we are a one-stop shop. So let's say you came in and you wanted car repair, I'd refer you to Paul Riley.
Did you say car repair?
Car repair.
Okay, so we're getting off topic here.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So let's say you came in, you're new to the area, and you need an oil change. You know what? We've got so many connections that with the business community that we can refer, and that makes us a one-stop shop.
That's interesting. I've never really heard it put like that. I was kind of referring to all the functions that you do here. Tell me a little bit about your staff. I was here last time. I saw some very energetic people come in here, and they have a good story behind them too. You want to share that with us?
Sure. Yeah, in fact, it was about 2 years ago, close to this date, that I was first introduced to Joe, who works for me, and he's got an interesting story behind him.
I want to share it, please.
Yeah, I went to my normal Tuesday morning Bible breakfast that I go to, and when I arrived there, a couple of the guys, because I'm one of the officers in our group, they came over and said, oh, by the way, we have this couple that was sleeping out on the bench in front of the church. We invited them in. Is that okay with you and all that? And they introduced me to them, and it's like, yeah, it's not a problem. Let's introduce them to our group, feed them breakfast, give them a little spiritual word, and try and get to know them.
And they've become an active part of your people here now. They're actually, the one gentleman I saw, he was working diligently on almost everything in here. You gave him an opportunity, he's become a big part of your business, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. In fact, it's amazing how God can work in your life like that. Bring someone in who you fully aren't expecting. Even though he may not have had the credentials paper-wise
Right.
that most businesses are looking for, he had the desire to want to learn, and he had the background of self-teaching himself how to do this stuff. And he has really come along in the business and has really grown with it, and has been a real asset to this business.
Speaking of growth in your business now, you've been in this location a year. It's a beautiful building. We've walked it quite a few times. I think what you told me is you're in the process of maybe acquiring this building, taking on additional space. That's gotta be exciting, especially the growth of your business in these uncertain times.
Yeah, that's true. We're looking to expand this location, and whether it be this building or another building, we're gonna continue to grow and keep providing in the community. We love to give back, and the more we give back, the more we seem to grow.
What's the business plan for growth? I understand taking care of your customers, good customer service, being up on the products each and every year as the changes continue to occur. But what's the plan? What's the plan for your company growth?
Well, within the next 5 years, my plan is to eventually buy a building,
Okay.
whether it be this one or another one. Expand to a larger location. We'd love to have like a maker space where people come in, use like 3D printers. We also have other equipment for converting old VHS tapes to digital,
Wow.
cassette tapes to digital, phonographic records into digital. Any type of media we're looking at to convert over. We also offer other services such as custom built computers, and not only are they let's say customized to the exact specs that the customer wants, we'll also personalize it.
And we saw that a little bit last week. We want to remind everybody, this is America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. I'm your host, Chris Jones. We're at Surf's Up Computing. We've got Chris, the owner, here. He's going to show us some products, first-time products here. So stay tuned for that. Chris, I want to ask you a question here. I'm a business that got one of your flyers. It's pretty much come in and let us share our knowledge. If I come in for the first time and I say, Chris, tell me how you can help my business, how would you present that?
Well, first of all, I would say, you know what, Chris, I'd like to get to know you.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit more about your business.
Okay.
I'd like to learn how your operations are. I would also like to see what type of equipment you have, and see how it's being used. Get to know that. Maybe also get to know your staff a little bit, see how they're using the equipment and the network, and kind of go from there. So whether it be like someone that's a graphic designer that's working on a little laptop that's super slow and basically banging his fist on it, to the owner of the store working on this huge $10,000 machine that he only does word processing and maybe checking his email. It's like, wait a minute here. I think we ought to reverse those roles and give your graphic designer the better computer so he can be more effective with his type of work.
Well, we got about a minute left here, and of course we want to remind everybody we'll be coming back to Chris. He's got lots of new things he wants to share with us. But quickly, before we take a break, what in the world is on your chest there?
Well, this is actually one of our new products that we
Okay,
want to kind of
we'll be
showcase.
talking about that as well
Yes.
too. I like that. Now you said there's some hats that do the same thing. I know I'm revealing, but it's exciting things that you're getting ready to give.
Yes.
I want to take a quick break here. We want to remind everybody this is America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. We're with Chris, the owner. We're at Surf's Up Computing. We're on Ridgewood. Join us for a minute. We want to welcome everybody back again to America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. We're bringing in products right now. We talked to Chris just a minute ago, the owner of Surf's Up Computing. Well, we've got Mary, we've got Doug, the owners of Naughty Business here. Now, everybody has products, so I'm kind of clueless here. Are we talking about products today? Doug, give us an opportunity, please.
Well, we're a joint effort, Chris and I and Mary, to help businesses promote, advertise beyond just television or radio. These are Our hats that we have on can carry different messages, so that while you're walking around, people see if you have like here, I'll put my name on it here.
That's crazy.
Naughty Business. As I'm walking around, people are gonna look at me and go, well, they follow you, all right? And then you can discuss the hat and then your business. The same for the badges. You can have all kinds of little messages on there. They can flash, they can fall in, laser out. And again, it's animation that gets people's attention versus a static advertisement.
Okay.
And then you can talk about your business. So if you're in real estate, which is one of the examples we're going to give in the video, you can then walk people around and they want to see what's on your badge, and then you can talk about you're in real estate. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting here. Mary, you're also a part of this business, and we talked a little earlier here, and I told everybody I would kind of wait on the pouting because I'm the only one in this broadcast, in this podcast, with no animation on, but apparently there's a gift that will be bestowed upon me momentarily here. I'm eagerly awaiting like a kid on Christmas here. But Mary, let's talk a little bit about your role with Naughty Business and how you work with Chris. Tell us first and foremost how you met Chris.
I met Chris in the chamber meetings, weekly chamber meetings, and he and I would connect. He was looking for a graphic designer, and I started my business, and we didn't have that much going on because we were trying to meet people who were new in the area. So Chris approached to us, and he said, I need your talent. Would you like to join forces? So those some kind of collaboration. And I said, and I want to do this. And I said, yep, I'm interested. And let's go for it. I think I can see it. This is happening. This is a God's connection here.
Right.
And I think this is going to work. So we came up with all these ideas of putting animations, and Chris would explain later how he's using my talents. But I was definitely open to the idea, and here we are.
Well, that's exciting here. As we said, we want to continue to invite everybody back. We're going to try to do this as often as possible. This is America's Elite Businesses, up close and personal. We have 2 business owners. We have 3 business owners with us today here. If I may make a suggestion, what about in the back of the hat? Because people may follow you. Are we thinking about maybe in time putting something in? Oh, you just flip the hat backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, there we go. That was my idea, squash right away.
Front and back.
But I want you guys to explain not just what's here. Now, it works off a phone. Krista, explain
Yeah. Okay. Ask me a question.
that. What time do I leave?
Jeez, are you reading my mind?
Yes, I am.
What does it say?
No, actually, I don't have my glasses, so
Oh,
it
okay.
says, I don't
No.
know. That's incredible. So we can have a conversation here.
And I can actually type it all in. And
Okay.
so let's say you're walking down the street. Let's say you're a business owner and you're at a big event or something. Let's say Family Days or something like that. You're out there in the public. You want to try and get noticed a little bit. You could wear one of these out there. Or let's say you're a political candidate and you're out trying to sign petitions or meet people. You could actually put a message on there. And what's really cool is if you want people to think you have a really smart hat, have someone follow you around with a smartphone and they can sit there and type stuff up real quick and answer the questions.
Well, as we continue this interview, I want to give our viewers, and we have lots of viewers, give them an opportunity. Where can they go? Is there a particular website, a phone number, where they can start looking a little bit about some of your products? Can you tell us, Doug?
Chris.
Okay, Chris.
Yes.
Mary?
Yeah, actually, most of these items are going to be on my website,
Okay.
surfsupcomputing.com.
Okay.
And right now, because these products are brand new, something that's just going to market, they're not on the website yet, but they
That's
will
okay.
be. And everything else you see today is going to be on our website, along with how to go about having us get you those products, and also how can we program them for you.
You know what, that's great. We talked about this last week as Chris was introducing me to his shop. Let's talk about the things that are behind us right now. There's a large sign behind us. I tried to put it on my back because I didn't have hats and stuff like that. A little heavy, but can you kind of explain the wonderful things back there and what exactly they're going to mean for the business community?
Yes, These are, in fact, this is why I brought Doug and Mary in the first
Okay.
place, is because I need someone that would be a great graphic designer that would be willing to work with me and help market these and also do all the graphics behind it. And when I met these guys, it's like, you know what, this would be a perfect match. Let's try it and see what happens. So in the meantime, I actually got the idea of these from a friend of mine that provided me with the signs around here, and what happened was he brought the larger one behind us in, and that kind of got me into thinking, you know what, this would be something that we could really market. He got the items, he had no clue how to program these things, very complicated, and if you guys are familiar with computers and all that, when they first came out, they were very basic and all that, hard to understand in the basic language, and you didn't have Windows, nothing was graphic user interface. Well, that's kind of what these are like.
Explain the roles of these for businesses. Now, we talked about restaurants that are gonna be opening up here very soon. This is an archived interview, so they'll probably open up by the time you look at this podcast here. But what a great opportunity for businesses to be able to put those in front of their business somewhere strategically to let people know that we are still behind the scenes doing the right things to protect our community here. They can show their kitchen activities straight on that, can they not?
Correct. So basically what we had come up with for ideas is like for restaurants, once they open up, first thing that people are gonna be concerned about is not only social distancing, but what's going on behind the scenes in the kitchen.
That's right.
Yeah, so is the
That's
guy
awesome.
in the Italian restaurant, is he still twirling the pizza up in there and all that, with no gloves?
That's right. That's right.
Is he doing it that way,
That's
or
right.
or is the guy back there going like this and all that? It's like, no, we want, the public's gonna be interested in what's going on behind the scenes. So the restaurant owner, what they can do is they can either get an 18-inch, 24-inch, or a nice little tabletop version, something like this.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they could actually have this on the counter. We can actually put it into videos for them and actually show what's going on behind the scenes.
Mary and Doug, what's your role now? I mean, these things are produced. I know Chris is doing the programming on them.
Yes.
Where is your role as these things continue to grow?
I've been working with Chris in terms of like a little bit of production part, animation, and creating like particular designs, maybe for a customer wants something's been particularly done. If they want some kind of like a graphic animation into their video, I can do that. So I'm helping Chris with that part, just to kind of like bring some kind of trust over here into the public, because we want people to go back there and go back to the restaurants and go back there to trust again sitting in the restaurants. And I thought this was a great idea, brilliant idea that Chris approached me to help him with the animation part and for the fans. That's great.
I have a big question here, Chris. Now, let's just say Business A, which has 13 or 14 locations, they fall in love with this idea. And I like it because, like I said, even though you're slowly but surely migrating back into a business, we need to know in our minds that behind the scenes, everything is being done properly. Guidelines are being enforced here. How quick, let's just say a car dealership says, I need 15 of them. How quick, let's talk a little bit about that. How quick can a business receive these great new products?
Well, right now, let's see, since we're just rolling this out, we're taking pre-orders, trying to figure out how much equipment we need to get.
Okay.
And then we're giving the customers the option of either of leasing the equipment from us. So like if they have an event that's just over a weekend, they can rent it for 3 days.
Okay, so the rentals?
Yep, so they do a 3 month, or let's see, I meant a 3 day, a 6 month, a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. And we also have different agreements set up where we'll have Doug or Mary or both come out, and they'll actually take care of putting in whatever graphics or designs you want into it and fully program it for the customer.
That's great. You guys got everything mapped out here. I know we're cutting a little low on time here. We want to remind everybody we have Mary and Doug here from Naughty Business. And of course, my good friend Chris, the owner of Surf's Up Computing. We're on South Ridgewood here. But before we get off the air, I am going to pout. I have nothing on my chest, so hopefully, do I hear Santa? Do you have a gift for me, sir?
Oh, it sounds like you're begging here.
I know, I'm pouting.
You're pouting.
Yeah, I mean, those things are, they're
Can
really
I get some real tears?
No, not yet.
Oh, darn.
Now, if you
How
keep
about-
me here longer than I
how
want,
about
I'll eat
some,
it.
Yeah.
some tears of joy
There we go. Okay, now how do I put it on here?
Go ahead and open it up.
Okay, I can do that.
from the side.
Okay, from the
No,
side.
the side.
Okay, maybe I can do that. Okay, this is for all you viewers at home. Okay, I'm gonna give you the box.
Thank you.
And, this is a brand new one. Can you
Yes.
carry it?
Go ahead and open it up.
Okay,
Yeah, no, just slide it out.
okay.
How about stop, drop, and roll?
Okay, so that's,
Yeah.
so in all reality here, we're just trying to show everybody it's as easy as opening like
Yeah,
that.
you have a choice of a pin,
Okay.
or you can do it by
Go back.
magnetic style.
Okay.
You'll just take the tape off, stick that on the back, and you can use it either way.
Now, does
Now-
this thing have to be programmed prior to, or you can program it while it's
Yes.
on me?
Well, no, it has to be programmed prior, and you have to have either a laptop or desktop computer to do it.
Well, I'm excited. It looks like I'm not gonna be up and running here before this podcast
But
here,
you can
but,
still turn it on.
how do we turn it on?
On the side here,
Okay,
so our viewers can see, you've got two buttons here, and you've got your charging port here.
turn me on. I don't have my glasses.
We'll push the top one in, it'll show your battery level, and it says it's playing message 1 through 8, and yours will say hello.
It should say help.
Hell.
We want to thank everybody again for tuning in. This is America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. We had a quick interview with Chris prior to. He's the owner of Surfs Up Computing. We're very lucky to have Doug and Mary. Naughty Business. Now, I need the full title here before we get off the air. This is a PG show.
Nautical art designs, and hence the double entender, N-A-U-T-I, naughty, where we design fun, relaxing themes. For instance, one has naughty all day with a boat theme or a surfing theme or a beach theme, and the idea is just to relax and enjoy life. We're too hectic.
Well, we want to thank these guys for coming in. Chris, I think you have a great project here. Next week, when we come back to America's Elite, we're going to talk a little bit more about the website, how you can get to the website, how you can order these, and then, of course, we'll dig into the expertise of Chris. He's the man behind the scenes. We want to thank everybody again for joining us today. We want to thank Mary, Doug,
Thank you.
and Chris. My name is Chris Jones, and yes, this is America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. We'll see you tomorrow. And we want to welcome everybody back again to America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. You're probably wondering why I have a tissue here. Well, I finally got my badge. I wiped the last tear. So we will we'll begin on our last topic here, and we want to talk about, you know, the topic of social distancing. It's a topic that every business is going to have to deal with here for a long time here. Your product, your programming, this has a place here. Now, you said other countries right now are grasping this, but the United States is not grasping it because of something that you perfected. You want to explain that, Chris?
Yes, with these advertising fans that you see behind us, they're not easy to program. And that's why the Asian countries right now are ahead of us on this, because they pretty much were able to figure out how to program these and market them. Well, that's where we came in, and it's like, you know what? Let's spend some time, let's learn how to do this. And are you familiar with how computers came about, where they didn't take off here at first?
No.
They were real slow?
Right.
Well, that's because they started out with the basic language. You had to learn the language before you could proceed.
Right.
And then over time, they made it simpler. Microsoft came out with Windows, made it graphic interface, and made it simpler. And now pretty much anyone, including a little 2-year-old, can run a computer.
Well, realtors and restaurants. Doug, I want to bring you in here very quickly here, and you made a great point while we were ready to get back on the air here, that, you know, there's so much that people want to know about what's going on right now. Restaurants, we want to see behind the scenes. We want to make sure that things are being prepared properly, that the distance is being done there. And realtors, I mean, when 9/11 hit, real estate drove the world back up to where it was. We need the real estate market to be affected again in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
You said you can do an entire open house on that. Can you kind of explain that?
Well, in the design, well, I just missed one. This is an example of the kind of animation we can do within, say, a realtor's pictures. We can overlay text, we can overlay images, and with animation here. And then after this, when we go into the realtors, and it's showing them how we can, more than just a picture, a still, we can animate it through a video with various leads in it and text, so that then they can have it in the fan and have it in a window, and people will, that's gonna draw their attention.
Right.
Here's the homes for sale example of this, where people are seeing, we just took these off of the MLA
Listing.
site, no, not a problem. And we can turn it into, it's got different ways of transitioning, which keeps it animated. You can extend the length of any of these are only like 6 seconds,
Right,
or you
right,
can
right.
make it longer. But you get a sense of, you're in the house, you're walking through it, you're getting different views. And this is all distance advertisement. It's better than a computer, because the computer, you gotta start it, open it, find the file, go through it.
Correct.
Whereas with this in the window, all they have to do is stop and watch and walk through it.
If I come in as a business owner and I'm excited about this and I say, Chris and Doug, I know nothing about this, how do I get it started? How can, in the most simplistic way, can I get one of these fans or 3 or 4 of these fans in my place of business and getting them up and running? How do we do that? Do we bring Mary in with her graphics? I know Chris is gonna do the program. How can we get these business started, you know, so they can focus on their business?
Correct. I would go out, set up a day and time to show them the fans and explain the different ways that we can animate their business, okay?
Correct.
Whether it is retail objects that we can do a 360 video of, or in a restaurant scene, videotape them in the back with masks and gloves making food.
That's a great
and also
idea.
show people cleaning everything up, and then we can integrate those different videos into one and show them how they can then advertise that to their people, as well as their menu. And that was where then I would come back with everything they want, and Mary would start putting it into videos that we would upload into a fan.
How did we grasp the fan concept? Where did that come from?
Well, that actually all came back to me.
Oh my goodness gracious, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
You're still here, that's
So,
great, folks.
Yeah, but isn't it great having a partner like Doug and Mary to
Well,
help
Doug and
me on
Mary
this
are doing
project?
wonderful things here today.
I know,
We're still dealing with your humor, but no, in all funniness, Chris,
Yeah.
the fan concept, what made you create that?
Well, it's kind of funny how that happened. I was looking for a sign for my business and all that, and one of my good friends who had a mobile sign company, he bought one of these, brought it into me, and had no clue what to do with it.
Right.
He's like, I can't program this thing. Would you like to buy it from me? So eventually I bought it from him, I figured it out, and it's like, you know what? This would be a great way for people to advertise in a new fashion. Everything from going to home shows, like if the realtor wanted to go to a big home show, put 4 or 5 of these out on their desk of all the different products that they have. They could take it, like stick it in their windows. They could even do something as simple as just wearing one of these, walking around,
Right.
saying this is what I do, and it really gets attention. And it's like, boy, what an easy concept to come up with, and now what we're doing is we're taking that and we're trying to figure out how businesses can actually use these and do it in a different manner that actually gets attention.
Well, I like the concept, especially right now, Doug, Mary, and Chris, with all the social distancing. And I understand in time it will become a little bit more relaxed, but we're in a new normal now. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to learn to live with this virus, but we still have to be very careful. But I love the concept of being able to, especially for the restaurants that are opening up here in the state of Florida, it'd be great to be able to see behind the scenes, to see exactly how things are done, the guidelines that are being looked at. I think it's a great idea, guys. I look forward to, as the weeks progress on talking more about Naughty Business, and of course Mary and Doug and Chris, of course, we're going to spend a lot of time together here. We have a great team here. If we can very quickly before we part, let's get your website, and of course this will be built up on the site in the next couple of weeks. Mary and Doug, tell us a little bit about your website, where they can find you guys.
Yes, our website is naughty-business.com.
Okay.
NAUTI-business.com.
And Chris, I know we're still working
Yeah.
on getting all this stuff uploaded onto your site, but tell us a little bit about your site, and is the site gonna change?
Yes.
Once everything, okay, do you have that information yet?
Yeah, the website that most of this will be on is surfsupcomputing.com. That's SURFSUP computing, COMPUTING.com.
Okay.
You can also find us on Facebook.com/surfsupcomputing, or you can come visit us in person if you're in the Daytona Beach area, and that's at 1737 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, Florida.
Well, I'm doing a lot of campaign podcasts right now. Those hats have got to be fantastic right now, because you're not being able to really get as close as you'd like to certain people here. I encourage everybody to join us each and every week. We're going to try to bring Mary and Doug back, and of course, Chris is going to be with me for quite a while. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, this is America's Elite Businesses Up Close and Personal. I'm your host, Chris Jones. We'll see you next week.